The Minotaur Rigpa was created to help people move in linear, circular, and spherical motions that imitate or at least try to emulate the elemental steps found in the Bagua and the Wuxing. It is extremely important to understand that when we move, we discharge in linear fashion and we neutralize in circular fashion, and we do both in spherical fashion. To apply the movements that we learn from the Minotaur Rigpa, the striking and the grappling and the neutralizing, we must understand that we move to the oblique to strike, we move to the lateral to uproot, that we discharge solely after we neutralize. Our foot is always active, and when we do discharge, it's in the form of a strike until the individual is so beaten down that the push is not just something that you find as secondary, but also as an ending motion to settle the dispute and the volatile action. This video is lesson 2 of how you learn to do this through the Western Taiji Boxing system with using the chasing and ghosting steps found when practicing the Minotaur Rigpa.
How you doing? Professor Singh here again. This is one of my days where I do a lot of pugilism on this day. Normally, I'm doing triathlon conditioning training, either swimming for a couple of miles, biking for a couple of hours, for several hours, 3 or 4 hours, or I'm running for a couple of hours. In this sense, what we're doing, we're working on some pugilistic stuff, and I'm going to introduce you to my second class on I've had one already published online. This is the second class on the Minotaur Rigpa. The Minotaur Rigpa teaches you to walk in spirals. It teaches you to walk, basically to chase your steps and to ghost step. Chasing your steps is moving, as you've seen me move with my students, with the smaller steps and nice circular and spherical movements. Let me show you how we begin working on this object. I have one without the arms. Now you're going to see it, the Minotaur Rigpa being used with the arms. A 10. The first part here we do is of course, the bridge. Once I bridge with the Minotaur Rigpa, the next thing I do is do a one-arm ward-off. This one-arm ward-off is done usually to a chant of Rin, Hyo, To, Sha, Hai, Jin, Retsu, Sai, Zen. Once I do that, my patented block, okay, anytime someone grabs your hand, you want to be able to bring the hand back and collapse into it. I didn't say collapse with regard to having no pressure. Actually, what you do is collapse the arm into the body where the pressure begins, and you actually do a body shot. The spot chin comes from the body. Once I get through with this, in, around, jin, this, come through with a pressing motion. Once the pressing motion comes, and reverse the object, reverse the movement with the arms. Same thing. Ja, Kai, Jin, those are my feet moving. Retsu, Sai, and the twisting of the hip. Zen, again block. Come across with the press. Come across back with a shoulder. And again, as my son will move around so you can see me, but you can't see me if I'm moving with the thing in front. Again, you start moving in this way. Once you're done with that, we collapse into a series of blocking, shouldering, and short elbows to the chest with head shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we move just like that, covering, swallowing, twisting, turning, almost like a ghost step. Also the rollback comes in. As you can tell on the middle part, I roll back through and come around. Once that's done, I come into a press. Using the press, just like this. Same thing, Rin, Kyoto, Sha, Kai, Jin, make sure you can see everything, Retsu, Sai, Zen. Coming back around, swallowing, watch the steps, walking around, Yellow Dragon, stirs the pot, pushing with a Kwansao, keep chasing steps, and then back into a settling press. Notice the rhythm. Again, circular, sunken, centered, and rhythmical. Stop the motion again. Come back around, chasing steps. Coming around this way, chasing steps. And the press begins again. Come back around, my son will walk back around so you can see what it is that I'm doing. Outstanding. And a little shorter. Notice my feet movement and circular movement. This movement, chest, chin down, shoulders round. You are rooted within your step. You don't have, it's the same idea of a boxer trying to set himself before he strikes. If you don't have to set yourself because every step you take is a set, you never have to worry about somebody uprooting you because you're always flowing with it. Now as we come back around, and we move in this direction. Now we're doing a double on ward off. Notice that the circles actually act, if you don't move in a certain way, they act as gripping you or potential chin na or lock can be done to you. You have to always be ready for that. The change in direction again, hands come around, pushing around that way, and then you move it again this way. Always switching sides with this allows you, and also if you don't turn your hips over, you're going to hurt your knees. With this machine, if you don't turn those hips, and as you can see my bottoms of my feet, I'm putting out cigarettes. And some will look at my feet only. Can you see my feet?
Yes, sir.
That's it. Putting out cigarettes, turning the hips over. And curling around. This one is when you grasp the elbow and you grasp the wrist or the forearm. Making sure you push this way. Bringing it around this way. My son will make sure he sees me. A lot of the problems with working this machine when I first got it was that I didn't realize that once you start moving, you don't stop your circular foot movement or chasing steps, as one of my students call it. You don't stop that until the energy of it stops. Otherwise, until the Minotaur Rigpa's energy of moving or circulating, spiraling, when it stops, that's when my feet stop, and not before. So I have to keep chasing steps until it is a nice flow. Do you see? This is what it teaches you to do. It teaches you to continuously flow. Also, what it teaches you is to squeeze. The holes in the center allow you to do that. So you can grab, you can do some himak, grasping of the joints in places that can harm a person who is not trained. Just got off of my couch now, so I'll just move it around some more and mount some more. Now notice when I'm moving, This is another part of the machine that really helps. It helps you work in such a way that you can control a person's motion when they're coming at you, because you're constantly in motion, controlling the hands, controlling the individual, trying to stop you or intercept you or move against you. That's what the Minotaur Rigpa was made for. It was made to teach people how to walk in a spherical manner. Now the holes I was telling you about, these are important. They're at the top, grasping between the neck bones and the collarbones. You'll notice that the dance that I'm doing with this machine is the same dance I do when handling opponents. The last thing that this teaches you is to make sure that you always breathe deeply, because you can get pretty tired working on this. The small steps actually get to you after a while, especially if you're not used to running. Like, man, wasn't even a bad idea to pick your knees up. What I learned about this machine is the neutralizing power that is done through spiraling. The minute I start spiraling, it's very hard for someone to fa chin accurately. That's exactly what I'm shooting for. Also, the last part is the 10,000 steps. If I can get 10,000 steps in a day, I am doing approximately 5 miles of movement. 5 miles of movement. And being able to do that is a big deal. Notice my hand motions. From the machine here, I learned how to do a coiling hand, which is a spiraling motion that some people call the teacup. And of course, we're coming around to my last aspects of it. So I'm working it, changing direction now. Same stuff that we do with everyone else.